Sarah from 17 once again. This is my Bayonetta Hard Pure Platinum. This is chapter 2, verse 1. This is one of the hardest verses in this chapter. Fighting Jean. Jesus Christ, guys. This bitch beat me up for 2 hours my first try. I just could not believe how difficult this was to do without being hit. And it's all because I've never tried to do it. And learning how to do it is tough. But the cool part is, because I messed this chapter up so much in my practice runs, I had to beat Jean 3 times. So I'd got pretty competent at fighting her. That right there is I think it's called Tatsuzanko, which if you've got Witch Time, and if you activate the Witch Time against her using the Moon of Malachi, or whatever it's called, the counter move, it gives you the longest period of Witch Time. So when she's in the air, or when she's in Witch Time, she's susceptible to being hit. She can't evade as much. So it's your opportunity to use all your Witch Time to hit her with that incredibly powerful technique. And as you saw, I juggled her with it. I took off like nearly 1.5 life bars. It's a very powerful strategy. However, it uses Witch Time, so you need to be careful using it too much. But verse 2 here, you're up against a bunch of affinities and a deer and decorations, which are the crazy flying things. And usually on this game, I really don't like the flying things. They wind me up. But now I'm using the whip, a weapon I pretty much neglected when I played before. I can pull things to me, and I can pull myself to things, which makes them a lot more fun to fight. The harmonies, which are the manta rays, can go fuck off, because I hate fighting that enemy. But this is verse 3. And this is a fantastic opportunity to build combo with the whip. The only problem is, it's sometimes difficult to control hitting the other people with the person you're swinging. Like, on one try you might get up to 9.9 on combo just doing it as you've done it every other time. Another time you won't even get to 2. It's kind of RNG based, some of that. Like, if you're super good with the whip and you know your positioning and things and you know how to do it, then good for you, but I'm just not that player. So I think that this guy's classed as an applaud as well. He has the bow that splits in half, and you can always tell if he's going to use the bow or if he's going to use the melee attack, because he has to split the bow to use it as a melee weapon, and he can put it together to use it as a bow like I'm doing right now. But this is a pretty long fight. This is a few waves of enemies, and it's followed by a beloved. So there's that guy pointing out, you know, kill the bitch. And it's funny, this is on hard, and the enemies attack kind of quickly, but they don't attack ferociously. And one way you can get around that is by wearing the Gaze of Despair, and I actually think the game's more fun with that on, because you're not waiting for attacks. Attacks are coming, and all you have to do is avoid them. The problem I have with it is, I hate how the enemies look. They turn into, like, bloody mandarin oranges and nectarines, and they just look ridiculous, man. They look like just giant orange veiny pieces of fruit, and it just doesn't look nice. You know, I would prefer them to get red-faced like they do in God Hand, or I don't know, just, you know, Steam, anything, just not that. Like, he's done it. Can you see him? That's what it looks like when they get mad at you for taunting, or when you use Gaze of Despair. And admittedly, I think he looks kind of cool, but the design on the standard angels, it just looks really shitty. You know, they look like they're made out of red electricity. But what I was trying to do here, which I'm totally messing up because of the lock-on. Lock-on on this game is an interesting mistress. Hideki Kamiya recommends you don't play with lock-on, because he's made it so that you don't need to, and because I've been playing games that don't really use it, I'm out of the loop of using lock-on. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to grab the applaud, and I was trying to lasso him into the beloved to get massive combo points, and I just couldn't get it to work. I kept grabbing the damn beloved, and it was really winding me up. Like, things that I remembered this game doing that it doesn't do, so it really surprised me when I was playing. Like, on Devil May Cry, you cannot get attacked off screen. The enemies pacify. On this game, you can. And I have no idea how. Like, I used to think that didn't happen, but it does. And it kind of makes me sad that this is so polished and so precise in so many ways, yet the amount of times a motherfucker's hit me off screen is unbelievable. And it makes the game considerably harder. That right there is Enchants. I hate that enemy. If you lasso one of them into the others, you can generally kill them all, and you don't have to be too stylish because the game understands that they're a shit enemy, and Anything you have to chase to get good combos on, you know, I'm not interested at all. Like, I'd rather fight these dudes all day. So, this Alfheim, you have to use limited punches and kicks. My strategy is simple. Use charge punches on the right guy, pick up his axe when he dies, keep your combo going if you can. I messed it up just then. And then use the axe to get mad combo points. And obviously do it in witch time because you get a modifier in witch time, which enables you to get more points. But you can't use your gun here to keep the combo going, I don't think. So that's what makes it slightly difficult to get the better grades, but we managed to get it up to 9.9. We managed to get a couple of, you know, high points. And it's funny, whenever I get my combo high on this game and I notice that it's high, I make mistakes and I have to restart. Like, I've had it up to over 6,000 standard points at a 9.9 modifier, which gives you over 1 million halos, and I always choke. You know, I can't do big combos and no damage at the same time. It's just not the player that I am. But this is a tough chapter, this, because there's a lot of fucking Alfheims, and the Alfheims are just brutal, man. So this one is just defeat all enemies, I think, which is a nice change. And the first one is Deer and Decorations. So I'm doing the climax gun move with is it the Siphon that I'm using, the nunchucks, which she does a spin move and she throws it, and it builds combo points, not massively, but it builds them interestingly, and it keeps the combo going without you being there. So I try to throw that into people, and then I'll swap weapons and then go into a combo with a different weapon. My two favourite combos with the whip so far are the lasso that you've seen me do, and the whip, wait, and then a third whip, which she does this big combo that finishes off with a wicked weave. The only problem with the whip is because it's kind of slow to swing, it can be tricky to do the attack, pause, attack moves. So, also that shot I did just then is when you hold the attack button with this weapon, it fires like a scatter shotgun shot of strange glyphs. Something that's really cool about the nunchucks is it stuns enemies. Like Grace and Glory, you can keep them in a stun lock just using standard attacks. And what I like to do with it is I like to hit them, stun them, and just keep attacking. I'm not trying to do a combo, I'm not trying to be fancy, I'm just keeping them stunned until they parry it and then they attack. And that way I've got a guaranteed attack, I know the timing on it, and I can try and get the witch time off it. Once again, it's a defensive strategy which all the best Bayonetta players are just beautifully aggressive, and they're constantly doing the dodge offsets in mid-air and on land and stuff. But that's just not the player I am. So this is 2 Ardors and a bunch more of the affinities. So the Ardors are an enemy that I used to really dislike, but I'm growing to kind of love them because they have this attack which is instant. It's the thrust. And you'll notice that I evade really early against this enemy, and I miss a lot of my evades, and the reason for this is you never know what they're going to do. If they do the slow hits, then you won't get witch time, but you'll still be safe. If they do the quick hit, you will have witch time. You cannot afford to wait for what they're going to do and then avoid it with a dodge unless you have insane reflexes, because the thrust is so quick you will get hit. So it's just safer to anticipate and dodge in advance, and if they do the fast one, you get the guaranteed witch time. But one of the annoying things about this enemy, for instance, if you're doing an Alfheim where you have to use wicked weaves, or if you have to only attack them in witch time is probably a better example, is you can stun them really easily, and when they're stunned, they stay stunned forever. And you can't attack them because it doesn't count, and you'll lose your combo unless you're careful. And you have to wait for them to come out of the stun, so it's kind of a taunt fest. But here come the double beloved. I was using the Ardor sword, but it's incredibly powerful, but it's really slow. It's the same caliber as the fucking chainsaw, which I hate. But keep your combo going, Chris, there you go. And this should be a pretty high score, this one, if we can do it. And it looks like we can. Swapping the weapons. You'll notice on the right hand side where the combo hits are happening, whenever your move has like a watch next to it, it means it's going to add to the overall multiplier. The number that's to the left of that watch means that it's going to add to what's being multiplied. I don't really understand the scoring so well. I understand that when you do too many attacks, it'll degrade their value and it'll stagnate them, so you have to use a wicked move or a special move to reset that counter. But aside from that, I really don't know the best ways to to increase that, except for doing the lasso move and doing the killgore rocket switch. Because certain stuff you'd think would give you super stylish points, and it just doesn't. And at times you feel like you're being super stylish, and then you look at your multiplier and you're at like 1.2, and you just think, what? But this is where I always back up my save on this chapter, guys. Because this fight coming up, if you do not get the stylish requirements, it will checkpoint before you get your ranking. So I recommend heavily that you restart if you drop your combo. I don't count this beginning part. The fucking enchants are stupid and I hate them. I'm talking about the double beloved coming up. So try and get your multiplier high. Whenever they die, if they drop a weapon, try and grab it just to get those extra multiplier points. This is unskippable, which I think is probably masking some streaming that they're doing for the game to load it. Because everything else is skippable, so it makes me think it's a mandatory load. But just be careful here, these guys have got more range than you give them credit for. But there's the Siphon, getting that spin on, probably going to go into the kicks. There's the, I don't know the name of that, is that the afterburner kick? And I'm trying to get better with the afterburner kick, kicking people into the air so I can air combo them. But the amount of enemies that have anti-air moves is really surprising, because I am not an air fighter, I never have been, and I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to get better at doing it, and it's pretty tough. Because it's easy to stick somebody in the air and do bullshit boring stuff, but it's really hard to do those combos that compensate and complement each other. But now we've got his grade up quite high. Watch out for his grab. Keep the combo going, and this will probably finish him off, this one. And yeah, we've got more than enough after the climax to get the score for this. And then following this is another tricky one where you can mess up. It's a single joy. You have to be quite quick. That's me fucking hitting the dash button by accident when I'm trying to tap. But the problem with the joy is you have to kill her quickly and you have to be quite stylish, and it saves, I believe, before the rank, so you need to be careful. But as long as you get witch time, as long as you combo her a little bit and then you go into the torture attack, you will have enough. Speaking of, there's an Alfheim before that. This is really hard, this one. So, one of the things that I believe this game does when you're allowing yourself to checkpoint and restart when you die is I think it saves your equipment, so you don't have to change them. However, when you're quitting to menu and restarting, you have to change them every time. And one of the ways to get out of this is to go in the Gates of Hell. If the Gates of Hell is around, you can use it to make a checkpoint. However, in some areas the Gates of Hell just aren't that frequent, so you have to keep changing them. And one of the most frustrating parts of this is when you have to run back to an Alfheim that's quite far away and you have to change your gear every single time. Do that 50 times. Imagine just the tedium of it. That's the thing that really kills me when I play the game. And the thing with this is there are, I think there's 3 waves. 3 dense waves of enemies. And you have to do 8 torture attacks, which it doesn't sound like much. But sometimes you'll kill things too fast and you won't have enough. Other times you'll just get sloppily hit, because that's how this game works. So how I like to do it is I like to cancel out of the spinning crowd control Angel Arm into a torture attack once I have enough magic. And when I get to the final phase, if I haven't done enough attacks, I'm going to start taunting a lot more. But here is, I believe this is the second wave. You'll notice there's some of the bigger applauds with some affinities. There is the spin into cancelled torture attack. And all I need to do now is keep the combat going. I'm using the Siphon to build combos because it doesn't do massive damage. That's the best thing about it. It's a really useful score tool when you use it, so I'm a super big fan of it. It's just fun too, but it's not easy to use because you have to get used to the animations, and they're quite elaborate. They're a little bit like the Vigorian flails, if you ever use those in Ninja Gaiden, because a lot of the times the one Y hit is a combo that might be 3 to 4 hits, and you know, it makes putting the inputs quite challenging when you don't know which inputs you need to put. But this is the final wave, this. Whenever the 2 Ardos turn up, it means these are all the enemies you have to do the 8 torture attacks on, so you better start getting, you know, on the ball. Like, the amount of times I've tried to pick stuff up and Bayonetta's been shooting shit, and then I've come out of witch time and been hit because I've been focused on picking stuff up, is untold. In fact, I think I dropped my combo then because I was trying to pick shit up, which, that is the most frustrating thing ever, that one. But we only need to do one more torture attack and we've got it, so at this point I kind of know in my head that I've done this. I just can't get sloppy, and the amount of times you get sloppy if you're me is more than I like to admit. Like this guy with his unconventional swing that I just cannot seem to get the parry time on, or the evade time, sorry. But there we have it. If I'd have chained the combo for that entire thing, that would have probably been a really impressive score. But as it stands, it's not that impressive at all. Which is a shame, because I would have added to my halos, because I need to buy the platinum ticket. But this is the joy I mentioned. So combo, 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 and at the end of the combo go immediately into a witch time torture attack if you can. I managed to combo her quite a lot and build it up. So at this point I'm trying to get her in an afterburner kick and combo her, and she gets out of it. So before my meter drops, I hit her with the torture attack, which is one of the more, I don't know, what would you say, misogynistic? It's not really misogynistic when it's girl on girl, I guess. I don't know. How do feminists feel about that particular torture attack? Is it erotic? Is it exploitative? I'm not too sure. I'm not a feminist. But there's the pure platinum on verse 9. And now we just have to do the final one. And this is where I had to replay the entire level again. Because I was doing this, and I was like, yeah, I'll beat him up, got some high combos, it's pretty simple stuff. And then when I got to the end and the rank came up, I had gold in my combo, and it had already saved. So yeah, nothing worse than getting to verse 10 and having to do the goddamn Jean fight again. But I am aware that you fight Jean a lot of times in this game, but the thing that you need to remind yourself of, in the first fight you don't have any of your weapons. You are using like old school witch stuff, and where those weapons are pretty powerful, if you're good with them, I'm not. So when I get to Jean later on in the game, I'm going to be using fucking killgore and pillow talk and shit. I'm not even going to mess about on that woman. I'm going to destroy her, especially if the checkpoints are bad, and I predict them to be pretty bad. This is the end of the chapter. Make sure you hit the quick times. I don't know if it's instant fail if you don't, but I get the feeling it would be. And just make sure you did enough damage in that sequence. Like, I put the pillow talk on there because I had to do the entire chapter again and I didn't want to mess it up. But there you go, we managed to get it. 44 seconds is pretty quick, I guess. And then we get the results screen for Vigrid City of Deja Vu. And it's always terrifying waiting to see if you've missed an Alfheim. Missing Alfheims is the bane of my existence because I don't know where they all are. I have to keep referencing them and searching them, but that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.